Welcome back to How to Souls. My name is Rach and today we're playing some Elden Ring and we're going to talk about guard counter. Now this mechanic was not present in Dark Souls, Sekiro, Bloodborne or anything like that. It's new with Elden Ring and it's bloody cool. Mechanically, it's very simple. Hold out your shield with L1 to block an attack, and then once the enemy bounces off your shield, counter with R2 to then perform a guard counter. You'll hear a sound confirming that you've done it correctly. You've got milliseconds to capitalize on this, so you have very little time to decide whether it's time to counterattack or if you should keep blocking. Now that's all very well with enemies that just try and hit you once, but if you find yourself fighting something much more aggressive, like this crazy fellow here, you do want to make sure that your weapon is fast enough for the guard counter to hit him before he, well, decides to go into a bit of a combo. So it's all about deciding in those tiny few milliseconds whether you are going to counterattack or keep blocking. It is quite a defensive and forgiving way of playing, so you can always just block, learn the enemy's moveset, and then go in with your own counterattack. As always with high stamina usage, you do want to watch your stamina bar like a hawk, because if that thing runs out, you are in a lot of trouble. So that's all very well, like doing it is simple. Some enemies will need more effort than others. There are a few things to note that will make a big difference with this build, and it comes down to stats and equipment. First of all, with stats, you're going to want to have vigor, endurance, and strength, and that is because we will need the strength enough to equip a great shield such as this. You will need enough endurance to have a big stamina bar because you're going to be doing a lot of blocking and countering, and you'll need high vigor because, let's be honest, some of those attacks are going to go through and hit you. Shields wise, there are different types of shields in this game. A great shield is probably what you're going to want to use for this kind of style of play. You're going to look at guarded damage negation. So we have physical 94, very high, not quite 100. 100 would be preferred, but we're using this for the guard boost. So the guard boost is the stat there. We have 60 on this one. It is how much you can get hit and how little your stamina is like affected by it, how much you absorb into the shield and how much is absorbed as stamina. So guard boost, very important for when you are blocking attacks. So if you are looking to learn guard countering, quite a cool place to do that is just here in the first area of the game. I've got Agheel Lake North is the closest site of grace. You ride north and there are a couple of like bandit camps. I found that these guys are quite aggressive and they're good enemies to learn guard countering with. So we're going to head up there. It's just over to the northeast. So you can guard counter a guy on the back of a horse, like no bother. The cool thing about guard counter is that it hits with enough force that quite often you can stagger enemies. And they'll fall to the ground, which is really cool. I mean, this guy was on a horse, so that's why he fell. But yeah, it does do a lot of stagger, a lot of guard break. Kind of like in the same way that jumping attacks does. You want to make sure your equipment weight is medium at the highest. You are not going to want to have high equipment loads with any build, really. Even this one. If this is a mechanic you're going to want to try and do on bosses, it is a lot more complicated. There will just be some attacks that are just way too powerful to block. They're going to take up most of your stamina until you like start leveling it quite high. So again, another reason why I recommend the medium equipment weight so that you can dodge in a pinch. But yeah, it's a lot of fun and I hope you enjoy it. Hopefully that answered your question, but if you have any more questions, please do let me know in the comments below. We have a really nice community here where there's a lot of people who are more than happy to help and share our experience and love of this game with all of you guys. So leave a comment if you like. Leave a like and that lets me know I've done a good job and it makes me feel good, and I'll see you in the next video.